I really love the game Pandemic, and it's a very contextually appropriate game to be talking about right now. It's a great game, and everyone thinks so. It changes every time you play and has three main expansions: Pandemic on the Brink, Pandemic in the Lab, and Pandemic State of Emergency. There's also other versions of the game, such as Pandemic Rising Tide, Pandemic Legacy, and Pandemic Fall of Rome. But those expansions and different versions cost money. My brother and I came up with a new way of playing Pandemic for the ordinary Pandemic player. This mod is for people who have the game but don't want to fork out another $60 or more to make it more interesting. We've called it Pandemic Inc. The idea was that we wanted to play against each other in this cooperative game. We were inspired by the iOS game Plague Inc., and one of us plays as the team stopping the virus and the other plays as the pandemic. Pandemic on the Brink is an expansion pack with something similar to our idea. It adds a new character that secretly controls another virus. Our idea is different because the opposing player operates as the original virus. Therefore, people who have bought the expansions can still play with these different rules. Another similar product out there is Endemic Creations' new game, Plague Inc., the board game. This is still a very different game as it has players compete to create a virus that takes over the world. First player to ruin the world wins. A different game from Pandemic, Pandemic Contagion, has the same idea as this too. My mod, Pandemic Inc., still retains the original playstyle of players working together to defeat the pandemic, but adds another player to the mix who is working against them as the virus. This adds a layer of complexity and challenge to an already challenging game. People have actually used Pandemic to study teamwork, as seen in this article using the cooperative board game Pandemic to study teamwork. I'm changing a fundamental part of this game, and I am particularly interested to see what feedback I get about changing this game feature. This idea leans on the concept of modding board games. I'm thinking of creating an aesthetic new rulebook that I publish online. I'll use my brother to help sort out the details, and then I'll go to my friends with the game and Reddit to create a feedback loop.